really hard there.
Oh, who's he waving at?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh,
The lights.
yeah.
Gary, can you hear me?
I sure can. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Do you want to try play that video?
Yes.
So-
Let me share my screen. Make me co-host there, Jay.
What was the problem the last time, Gary? I think it was us with other people online and us switching between. It was something. It was weird last time.
I don't recall.
There's a video in this Canva slide that we're trying to play, and there's no audio coming out from that video.
All right.
Okay, hold up. Now I need to share my screen.
Where's the remote for this?
Over that. And what's this one?
And let's put those lights blue. That's for this.
What happened there? Try that again. Share. Oh, there we go.
This is for the wall.
This for the wall? Okay. Then I don't think we have the remote for this one.
Oh, it should be a little, those little lights. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be like a little classic, what am I trying to say? Like LED light thing? No, that's for the big lights above. Studio lights. And they may have been turned off, Jason, on the back of each individual light. Yeah, it'll look like that, Colin. That's for the camera. You'll have to press number 3 right now. Jason, physically on the lights, on the studio lights, you'll have to turn them on because they probably have been turned off.
It's turned on right now, but Colin wants it blue.
No, it's okay. No, I was thinking blue at the back here.
Okay.
Okay, let me play. Let me hit this slide.
So today's our red day. So we have 2 events that we're having today.
Loud and clear.
That worked?
That
Yeah.
works.
Okay, coolio. Then we're good. Jay, I don't know if you can make the actual slide bigger on the TV screen. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you just did.
That works.
Okay.
And then what I might do, let's see how fast we can do this. Hold up. Stop share.
Can you try to play that video longer?
Yeah.
Welcome. Good. How
Happy
are you?
summer.
Oh, Melissa, you do look like summer. I love it. I saw that. Play the video longer. Hang on, Jay. Coming right up.
Okay.
So today's our red day. So we have 2 events that we're having today. We have the shredding event where you can bring in your shredding. And then we also have the book and bake sale inside. So come shred and eat.
Okay, it looks good. Okay, now the sound is gone.
Garrett, play the full video because the sound is gone at the end.
We can only
So
hear
today's our red
15
day.
of it.
So we have 2 events that we're having today. We have the shredding event where you can bring in your shredding. And then we also have the book and bake sale inside. So come shred and eat.
and then no music from here.
Yeah, there's no sound.
Is it on YouTube? We can play the YouTube video if we're on this part.
What about we play the link directly that
No, because what's happening is internally your Zoom is cutting the sound out, but everyone else on Zoom will be able to hear it.
Oh,
So don't play anything there.
so when you say don't play don't play anything in here.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. Why is it doing that?
We had that problem before.
The only thing we can try is having you guys host the slides.
But if we host the slides, what happens on people on Zoom?
It should be fine because I'm guessing I don't know. We should be. That's strange.
I can play the slides.
Okay. So play
Then
the-
you're in there for the entire meeting moving the slides along.
I can do that because me and Sarah were both here today.
Okay, so Jason will do that. So let's try that.
Okay.
It's just 1 30-second video. Do we care? Because I was going to share the screen, unshare the screen, and all sorts of different things today.
Okay. So you also have a second video of go through the slide. You have a second video. I think it was Mega Camp.
Yeah, it's this one here, coming right up. And it's very short. Oh, what happened? Sorry. Hang on.
Is it true? Is it true? The rumors are true. The rumors are true. Mega Agent Camp and Mega Leadership Camp are now one event. Mega
What do you
Camp.
want?
Wait, when is it? When?
It's mid-August in San Antonio. We'll see y'all there.
Antonio.
We're there.
Okay, that worked.
That one worked. Jason, on the remote that you have in your hand, press the number 3 button.
Number 3?
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
number 3.
Try number 2. Maybe it got unprogrammed. There we go. Number 2 is the one. That's what we want. Oh, yeah, I might have to zoom out a bit. Sorry. Keep going. Just a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Or zoom in a wee bit. See, Jason, at the top of where Colin is, you can see that light
Oh yeah.
frame. Yeah, that works. That works.
Okay.
That works too.
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Alright.
Colin, pull the desk back towards the wall. There you go.
Okay,
Oh,
zoom out a little bit.
That didn't quite work. Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
'Cause you and
little-
Darren are about the same height, yeah?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's good. Nice.
Good.
What do you want to do with the Red Day video?
What up? What up? What up?
I haven't seen you in so long.
I was here. Where
No,
have
I
you been?
didn't see you for. Well, I didn't see you for Red Day either. I don't know.
Where's mine, Nicole?
He can see you. Sorry, dear. What else were you saying?
What do we want to do with the Red Day video?
I don't know.
Because it cut out on sound.
Wait, send me it and maybe I play it on my computer here.
No. That won't work either.
Okay. Or in the meanwhile, start finding some music.
We can just skip it.
We'll skip it. Okay.
And we'll tell everybody we've posted it on the channels today.
Yeah.
And go like and share it and do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Steph coming up to talk about it?
But the good thing about the I'll be on the computer. So yeah, it's from a job. Like a few of them, I think
Is the music doesn't affect us on Zoom, does it?
You have to mute yourself.
So when
Mute.
people come on, what do they hear? What do we have people hear when they come on?
Nothing.
Okay, so maybe we could turn the music up in here, and could we turn it surround sound? So when Gary's speaking, people are out.
Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
it's probably not there. She by confirmed it. It's probably not. So things could be. They were offered. Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah. That makes it easier, especially if it like it's not but kind of what they said before. No. It's taking you, but let's be faster. And I said, like, no, the only way I will say here's stuff because they have the computer shape for things. I'm like, but outside of that, okay, so yeah. And like, they're not showing.
Check the remote. The remote tells them.
In terms
Yeah. The remote, you know, the TV, yeah,
of, yeah, no, it's not okay. So that's exactly it. I feel like
Hello, hello. Hello. How are you doing? Fantastic. Good to see you. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. How are you? Sir? That's a big car. Also, I saw this turnover. Well,
did you call? Did you get to see like the? It's just completely like. Long time.
it's almost. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, yo.
What's up, man?
I saw Jen went and jacked you up. Yeah.
It's 12:30. I go to Sarah. I'm like, what time does this thing start? Like, all these agents don't have any spare time, right? And I'm like, no. Both be.
Got it? Okay, good. Sir, here we go. It's you. Get out these stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Inquiring minds need to know.
Watch that. I go.
You're gonna. You want to? So they do. Okay, good. So yeah, you come up. Okay. Okay, good. All right, just give us a couple more minutes there, Gary. We're just welcoming everyone here in the office. So, you're going to come down to my window. So, we'll see.
I don't just picture it. It'd be a bigger line than we have a meeting end of June.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, Gary, are you ready?
I'm ready when you're ready. Let's do this.
Well, let's turn the music down in here and then we'll start it. Give me a second. We're good? Ready? All right, all right, all right. 1, 2, 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, yes, let's clap you guys in. All right, Gary, welcome. You can see everyone online. Welcome them. So, welcome, Gary. Welcome everyone online and in person. It's always good to have our team meetings where we get to see people. And summer is really out. You're always seeing the colors, you're seeing the patterns. So, it just brings that smile on our face. Winter, we were all grumpy. So, welcome back. Welcome back, summer. Gary, over to you.
Summer, summer, summer. It always reminds me of the movie Frozen and Olaf. But anyways, when we talk about summer, Jen knows what I'm talking about. She's got young kids. My friends, I hope everyone's doing amazing. We've got some pretty cool stuff to go through today. And hey, whether summer is here or not, the real estate market still moves in a direction that we need to navigate. And that's what today is all about, is helping you navigate through it. So obviously you can help your clients navigate through it. And we're going to talk a number of different things. And one of which is, getting into our database and talking with our clients. And if we're not talking to them, somebody else is. And that's important that we have clarity around that. I'm going to continue on with the AI theme that I've been talking about over the last several months, or even last several years, in fact, and talking about how we can leverage AI not just once, but multiple times, and perhaps so you can walk away with some tools today to implement right now. And of course, we have Nicole to talk to us about what's going on in the mortgage world and financing world, and help better set our clients up for success, as always. So we're excited to have her her here. And I know Darren and Gail are going to talk about something that's really, really important as the rest of the year unfolds. And we know that sometimes when we look at buying properties, the finances are incredibly tight, meaning some properties right now are over leveraged. And what does that mean for closings and such? And they're going to shed the light on that as well, which is important. But before all that, Colin and Jen, we need to talk about what happened last couple of weeks with Red Day, and it was a pretty cool event. I'm gonna flip my slide here. Jen, talk us through it, walk us through it. I saw all the pictures and everything. It was pretty exciting.
I would like, before you go there, Gear, I would like Steph to come and stand next to me. She's all nervous and being like, "Why are you doing this, Colin?" Because we love you, Steph, and we want you to continue to grow.
And because Steph was the brain person behind the whole thing and our amazing ALC, so she should be the one to share about the day. It'll be all right.
Yeah. So
you got to talk.
This is where you talk.
Okay, well, so incredibly proud, and I told Colin I had a little surprise because I don't want it to be just me talking. This was the first Red Day for some of our associates, and I want everybody to stand up if this was your first Red Day and you participated.
Stand up. It was your first Red Day and you participated. Go.
What was your experience? If you could just like tell from your point of view to let the room know your experience that day.
So fun. Wait. Mike is coming.
It was so fun. It was so nice to connect with everybody or some people for the first time, and just kind of all work together to volunteer for two really amazing causes together. It was really nice. Felt like one big family, and it was cold, very cold. And we were out, for those who were out with me, we're dancing on the street with the signs and trying to rally people in. But it was, for me, it was a lot of fun. I really liked it, and it was, special for sure. And Jason's dancing was the best.
Online.
It was very surprising because it was very cold and still the Red Day was very successful. Like a lot of bakings were sold, a lot of books, and that was really good, especially because the location of the brokerage is inside the plaza. Still, a lot of people came in because I think there were a lot of signs maybe, but you did a great job. I'm very proud of everybody.
Jason danced and brought all the trucks in.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of trucks pull in. I know they were going to Tweety's, but we heard some of them came in and got some baked goods too.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So Jen, or Stephanie, thank you so much for inviting me to the first Red Day. It was amazing. When I was coming in with the car, I saw agents on the road with the signage and so on, directing traffic. So it was really nice. And I really like this small office feel with everyone contributing and bringing their potluck and having the guide dogs and people walking in. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. And I really like the small office feel.
That's the family feel.
Guys, this is where we said each and every one of you were here, you participated, and Red Day, it will never be a success if we were to work in silos. We came together as a team and we were able to accomplish that. So in terms of money raised, just a reminder of where the money is going and how much was raised.
Yes, so we're so proud of everybody. On the day, we raised $5,800. So congratulations. $4,700 went to the Life Center and $1,100 went to the guide dogs. So just an amazing day and amazing achievement for.
Yeah, obviously not my first one. I've been to many, but I just wanted to share
Loud enough.
Loud enough in the room.
Yes,
people,
yes,
I
yes.
need-
I just wanted to share a funny story or cute story. So this is Kai's third one now, I think. But so this was a Thursday. He went to school on Friday, and on Fridays they have show and share. And usually he can bring in stuffies or whatever. But he actually wanted to print out a picture, and he took it into class to talk about Red Day. He was so excited. He loved it, and he was talking about giving back to the community, and it's his favorite time of year. So I thought it was really cute because he picked that to say, yeah.
What? You got Stephanie crying up here. Oh my God. Yeah, let's play the video.
Nicole, that's an excellent story. I love that. That sums up what Red Day, and I know, some of you may not know Mo Anderson's name, but she's the icon, if you will, that started Red Day for KW many, many, many years ago. And I bet you if she heard that story, that would also bring a tear to her eye, because Nicole, that is amazing. And my friends, thank you so much for being a part of it and helping, obviously, in supporting the staff and doing so, but supporting the community, I think, is most importantly where it's at. And it's cool, even though I'm not there to help and to be a part of it physically. It's still really cool to see and have it go worldwide. Remember, this is not just the community of Newmarket or Aurora or Stouffville or Grey Bruce, wherever you happen to be and live. This is an international community. So this is pretty amazing to be a part of. And yes, we do have a video. We're not going to play it here, and it's all on the social medias. It'll be up there later today. Like it, share it, comment on it, help that message get out there. And just because we donated on Red Day does not mean we stop donating, my friends. Whether that's your time or your financial resources. Many of you know my family works for a not-for-profit organization, so I have no problem asking for money. If you feel the need, if you feel the need and you see an opportunity, trust me, $1, $5, $100, $1,000, whatever it is, we know that it always goes to a good source or a good opportunity and make it happen. You just don't know who needs that resource at that moment, and it's an amazing way to give back, my friends. Good stuff. Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Moving on. It's always a tough segue, but we're going to segue anyways. Jen, we've got some pretty cool, we're going to celebrate some of our top producers and some of our firsts. And these aren't always our first listings. These are first listings with KWRC. Jen, walk us through it.
Yeah, we have got Lauren Hoyles, Lindsay Benavides, Luke Mitchell, and Talia Black. Congratulations, everybody.
That's amazing. Well done, my friends. And our top producers, I love seeing some new names jump up in there. Jen, go ahead.
Yeah, we have got Louis Krakow, Christine Allen, Matt DeBerry, Stuart Madden, Anisha Scott, Carissa Hall, Rock Starling, Darren Maltese, Tracy Kirstein, and number 1, Natalie Hislop. Amazing. Congratulations.
What I love about this list is every month you're seeing new names added, and they're just coming. It's just great to see. So for everyone on this list, congratulations.
And let's not, and we're going to get to the teams. Don't worry. Let's not let this momentum for you, my friends. And if your name's not on here, use this momentum. This is great momentum leading into this, now mid-spring, early summer market. Use this momentum, my friends. Colin, the teams here, my man.
We have the Silver Niggle team, the John Brock team, and of course the Terry Hastings team at number 1. So congratulations to each and every one of them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And again, this is for GCI, and I'm starting to see, I get to see the numbers every month, and we are certainly building to something really, really cool here. This is awesome. I'm always excited to see this list that Stephanie sends every month, because as we said, there's some new names on there, and quite frankly, And it's on me because I live away from the brokers. There's names that I don't recognize, and I need to come and meet some of you people that I haven't had the opportunity for to do so. So that's on me. I will make that commitment, and I'm excited to see this brokerage continue to grow. Jen and Colin and everyone else that's joined us over the last month or so, we're going to have some pretty cool things come up, and to be able to celebrate you and to celebrate the brokerage. Moving forward, why don't we invite Darren and Gail to come on up, and of course our legal side. Whenever something legal comes up or closings and you need support there, reach out to Mayfair Law Group. And of course Joseph here, he's an important allied partner of us, and you know we've had him on our call last month, and you know that excuse me, he's often on the call with Dylan at least once a month, and just talking about what am I trying to say? The complexities of some closings. And I know today we were going to talk about, and we are going to talk about what happens when there's not enough equity to close on a property. And Joseph is well accustomed to what that looks like and how to protect you and the client. And Darren and Gail are going to touch on this as well, and in the fact on what does the brokerage do, and how does the brokerage support us as agents when things like that come up? I'm going to hand it over to you, Darren.
Well, thanks, Gary. Look at what a great crowd today, honestly. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. So this is one of the things that we're seeing a lot of right now is either on the list side or on the buy side, suddenly there's not enough funds to close, right? Never mind enough to pay commissions. You could end up with a buyer offering on a property, come day of close, the lender doesn't want to close because they're not going to get paid. Now your clients are homeless, right? And let's remember, our commissions are really only a byproduct of helping people. So that's the last part of it. Imagine having a client who's homeless. They've sold their house and they're moving on and they got nowhere to go. So I always recommend check with Nicole. If your clients have interest in a property, or you do this even when you're listing as well. If you're listing absolutely 100%, because you could get sued, the brokerage could get sued, everybody can get sued if you don't close. So check with Nicole. She'll do a purview report on it. That's going to tell you what's been registered against the property. It may not be accurate and up to date right now because they may have paid some down. But if that number is kind of close to where you think you're going to be after calculating commissions and so on and so forth, then dive deeper. And then you ask the client, if you're on the listing side, to get a mortgage information statement, what the buyout would be June 1st, for instance. Because then you're going to see the penalties. If they've fallen behind on anything, have they, any of those things, those costs add up. If they have to send a lawyer's letter, because they're behind on their mortgage, that's $5,000 right off the bat. It's just like, these things add up like crazy. So absolutely 100%, you're going to be listing a property. You can go and pull that parcel register if you choose, but Nicole can help you. And it also helps you because it does kind of a little electronic CMA on it as well. But if those numbers are dangerously close or could tip either way, get more information. And on the buy side, same thing. And then you have that discussion with your buyers. There's a chance that this doesn't close. Is that something you want to be on? I've heard of some agents putting in a condition to get confirmation that there's enough equity to close. So you could have a condition for your buyer in that case, once you have that information, right? And it doesn't matter if they only bought in 2021 or 2022 at that peak of the market. They may have refinanced in 2021 or 2022. They could be there for 30 years and owe more than what the property is worth currently. So you have to be very, very careful like that. You have to be very careful for your clients on the list side and on the sell side. That's, let's say, lender verification. Just have them get the information directly from their lender. It'll show all the penalties or whatever prepayment penalties, all those things. So you have a really good idea of that you can move forward. Okay, very, very important. And then, you don't want to have your buyers end up homeless. And it's happened. There's a number of them this year where we don't have properties closing. So whether you're on the list side or buy side, it's not fun, not good. All right. Next slide. What do we got next?
Might be my turn.
Yeah. Gary? Can you hear me?
Did it come up? Representation?
Yep.
Oh, this is one here. Yeah. So this is another thing we have to be very, very aware of. In Tressa, a realtor cannot represent themselves and a client in the same trade, no matter what. Whether there's disclosure for multiple whether disclosure of registrants disclosure, any of those things, it is absolutely forbidden. You cannot represent, say, if you got your own property for sale and you get a sign call, you can't have that buyer buy that from you. They have to have representation. I'm looking more into what's going on with leases maybe that aren't on MLS, for instance. I have to look into it more, but even that, a tenant, you have an investment property, you're renting out a portion of it, a tenant comes to you directly, as per RICO's guidelines, you cannot represent them. They have to have their own representation, okay? I haven't seen any decisions come down from RICO on that, but we have to be very, very careful. Honestly, for the sake of getting someone else in the office to handle the representation for a nominal fee or a referral fee or something like that, 100% you have to do that, okay? You have to protect yourself, all right? Any questions on that? All right, it's a hard no. It's a hard no.
And we are seeing those trickle in still.
And they do still trickle in, and I don't even know how we handle that. Like it's, what do we do after the fact? You know, it's a terrible thing, because if RICO were to find out, I don't know where it would go, right? So we have to be very, very careful with those things. All right, next. All right.
I know Darren gives the hard one to Gail. FinTrack, I don't want to give it a Gail.
I know. I'm an agent too. I get it. This FinTrack stuff is painful. However, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. First of all, thank you for everybody embracing the FinTracker app and not giving too much pushback. We know it's a transition to have to use something and being told that is a requirement. But it really helps everybody. It protects everybody long term. It's the right way to have everything complete. Thank you. Two other small, well, they're important details, but they're short. Don't unnecessarily run FinTrack on people. If you're doing a lease, please don't run FinTrack. Some people think that doing more is better. In the case of a lease where it's not required, you're actually then submitting it, and we have to still run the checks and put it through the system. And if they're flagged, we still have to run with it, even though it's a lease and not required. So please, if you think you're doing yourself a favor, if it's not required, don't do it, okay? And this last thing we're going to talk about real quick is some people still try to not put full account numbers on the receipt of funds. We have been told that can be an automatic suspicious funds report. So we can't tip off clients about this stuff. If someone does not want to put their full account number, try to obtain it. If it's flagged, we have certain checks and balances we have to run with, and it could mean an automatic report being sent into track. So it's not our choice. It's what we are told must be done. So just understand, if your client is not wanting to submit that, it could have implications. Yes, Steph?
I think the biggest and some of the confusion we see sometimes right now is they're putting the bank draft number, not the actual account number.
Yeah. If you take an account number or the bank draft number off of the receipt, that's not the source account. You have to get the source account, where the money has come from. Ask questions. This whole know your client, the K, what is it? How is it? K, thank you, thank you. It's really important when FinTrack looks at our stuff, how we ask questions and document things is crucial to how we know our client, and we can explain when there's variances. And I say to people almost every day, I find a new realtor in our office and I say, you're going to get someone who gets red flagged on something. That doesn't mean that the transaction's in jeopardy. It means we have to ask more questions and we have to filter more information through, but it doesn't mean your transaction's going to be, not closing. It just means we've got further steps we have to do to get it there.
Another note. Go ahead, Melissa.
Did you open
Just a question for the leases. So if I'm representing a tenant and they're doing a deposit, that to me still means I have to do a fin tracker,
That's
right?
right. You need to do receipt of funds.
For receipt of funds. So I do the identification, right?
Just within the receipt of funds ID. There's an ID section in the receipt of funds. That's the only one you need
That's
to do.
the only one
You don't
that's
have to
needed?
do an individual ID. It's only in the receipt of funds ID.
Okay.
And the easiest way to do that is send them the remote receipt of funds. That's the easiest way, because then they fill out. It's not unusual. We come across clients, they don't want to share their bank account info. It's pretty understandable. You have to explain that this is an obligation for us, one that we have take no joy in, by the way. But it's like, look, this isn't fun for me either. It's just something we got to do. We just got to do this dance today. So, but if you send it remotely, so some people are afraid to send their, either their documents or something across text or email or whatever. That's 100% valid. So you send them the remote receipt of funds, and that allows them to put their ID in there as well.
Okay.
And that way you can tell them, you ask them, go to FinTracker's site. You can find out about their security settings, all that stuff, and that it's a secure server. You're not sharing it in the ether. This is coming through a secure server, and this is how we have to do it. So that might give them a little bit more comfort, but yeah, you do have to do the receipt of funds.
Okay, just wanted to clarify, because when you were saying leases, but that's just for like landlords or something, right? Just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you. That answered your.
Yeah, hello everybody. I've been doing a lot of leases during the past year, and according to Recall, there is a strict recommendation to the agents to verify the identity of the tenant before any showing for security and safety purposes. But now it is contradicting with this FinTrack that says do not identify the client.
Right. What we're saying is it doesn't, sorry, I can understand the question, but to be clear, what we're saying is obviously if you're representing a tenant or representing a landlord and getting a tenant in, you have to ID them 100%, right? Like you need to know that the people that you're meeting, and for safety reasons, all kinds of things, business purposes, all that. What we're saying is we do not have to fill out a FinTrack ID for leases.
Okay.
So you can ID them whatever way you feel the need to secure their identity, all that stuff to ensure who they are, but do not do the FinTracker app for ID for leases, because there's a cost involved. And then if something comes up, then we have to kind of investigate all those things. It's not required for FinTrack purposes. For business purposes and for security for your landlords and even yourself, 100% ID the client before you go meet them. Yeah.
We're losing Gary. I think he's nodding off.
It's fantastic.
So I'm finishing on this. We're going to continue. Like this is a big learning curve for us too. So there's a lot for us to go through this. We're not even, I think we're about maybe halfway through this kind of process. It's unbelievable how much oxygen that takes. But we're going to continue to focus on that. And once you start using FinTracker, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. The convenience of it and how much work it does for you. You imagine that you're supposed to search your clients on multiple lists all over the world and Google, and then you have to update that every year for 5 years. And for $5, FinTracker does it for you, right? Now, if you do a remote ID, there is an additional charge, I think, of $2.99. So be aware of that. But that's a convenience fee in a sense, right? If you don't have to go even a half an hour to go meet with somebody, you can send them a remote ID. But once you start using that app, you're going to love it. And another great feature is you have them in as a seller, and then you have them as a buyer. You don't have to ID them again. You can take that ID and put it into a new address. So you start a new ID, and you go from you're previously submitted. You can get all that information. It fills it all out for you. You still have to do the questionnaire, but all the information, like how much time it saves and effort and how much it protects you and the brokerage and the client, it's a no-brainer. So we're going to continue to focus on that. You're going to hear about it probably every single month. We sent out that video again for FinTracker, their latest training. Please sit through it. Great information.
It is
It's great
good
information. and really, really valuable. And it'll help you learn the systems and how we need to protect ourselves. Okay. All good?
Good.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I don't want
to. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much, Darren and Gail. The same amount of scrutiny that a bank goes through when there's any transfer of funds, it's the same amount of scrutiny us as realtors will endure. And this is just elevating the level of professionalism in our industry. We're professionals. We handle transactions that are worth millions of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars are being transferred into our account and going in. It's easy to launder money. For instance, someone can have a deposit on a home, they want to buy it. They write a deposit that comes into the brokerage. 2 days later, they decide they don't want that house anymore. The brokerage now writes them a check. That could be dirty money coming into our brokerage and being cleaned, going out. So the scrutiny that is involved is very high. Yes, this is not something we were accustomed to a couple years ago. However, we welcome it because it's elevating the industry. Could you imagine going into your bank and walking in with $100,000 in cash and no one asks you where that came from? That is the level of scrutiny we're under now, and it's just raising the level of professionalism for us as realtors. So we step up and we're going to become better because of it. And the industry and our clients will respect us more because of it. Gary, over to you.
Well said. Well said. All right, my friends, we're going to circle back to our friend Joseph, and he's been able to join us. And there's so many things to touch on. But Joseph, I'm just going to highlight your video here. Give me a second. And as we were just talking about, it's really important to make sure that we're staying on top of all of this. We'll call it stuff, but it's not stuff. It's incredibly, incredibly important. And in doing so, to stay on top of the stuff and circling back to, looking at homes and perhaps having offers on homes or representing sellers where there's little to no equity. Joseph, I want to talk to you about this. And of course, Joseph, as we all know, is from Mayfair Law Group, and he's our allied partner. Joseph, talk to us. A, how are you doing? And thank you for being here. You might want to unmute yourself there. But yeah, how are you doing, my friend? Thanks for joining us today.
Doing not so bad. We've entered a very busy time of the year, end of the month and beginning of the month. So it's been meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting for the past 3 or 4 days now. So I'm waiting for this weekend to kick in.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I kind of felt the same. Monday felt like a Friday already, but it's all good. And that's just, it's also the nature and the cycle of our real estate cycle, right? This is always a busy time of year. And in doing so, we are, as I mentioned, we're starting to see and hear more and more listings where perhaps there's little to no equity. From your perspective, and the due diligence that you do and would ask realtors and buyers and sellers, walk us through that a little bit, or at least through that conversation from your perspective.
Sure. I've actually had, since I've moved to Mayfair, I've had 2 deals so far with no equity left over on sales. One of which was a bit of a fun one, where there was a first and a second. Second was private, mortgage on title, tax arrears, 5% commissions, legal fees. Shortfall was around $200,000.
Oh, wow.
So in that deal, it was scrounge around to see who can get that haircut. And so you go to the first, got $100,000 from the first, go to the second, make a deal with the second, take a haircut there, figure out other ways to get you paid off. Taxes you can't do anything about because the city wants their money. And then you go to the realtors and say, realtors, you gotta step it up here. You can't get your 5%, or the deal it's either zero or chop it down. So at the end of the day, we got it closed. But everybody, including our office as well, took massive haircuts. I think we actually maybe just collected disbursements and did it pro bono practically. But at that point, you're at the mercy of who's willing to bend. Um, there's really no easy way around it. Unless the seller has the money to cover that shortfall, which is not very likely. On the second scenario that I had, they happen to have the funds. But that doesn't happen very often. So you got to scrounge to see who's willing to reduce their stuff.
And when you say take a haircut, and for those that perhaps hear stories, south of the border, we call this a short sale in a sense, right? Where you go and negotiate with that mortgage holder. If they are owed 500,000, yeah, you're trying to get them down to say 400,000. That's the conversation you're having, right?
Pretty much, yeah. In the sense of the deal that everybody took that so-called haircut, the first was on the verge of power of sale. So they had about $50,000 worth of fees and interest adjustments and all and legal fees and everything. So it was not easier, but it made it a little bit easier, I guess, to negotiate down from their mortgage, their amount that's payable, because I basically told them, like, look, you can do a power of sale, maybe you'll get 95% of your money, but doing this deal, it happens now, you'll get 90% of your money. That 5%, at least this way everybody walks and everybody gets something. So it was a mission. But in that haircut, that's essentially what I mean is you got to take less. And if you don't take less, deal just dies. And if deal dies, nobody's happy. And if nobody's happy, I mean, I don't know. It's just not fun.
Yeah, yeah. And in your experience, is there kind of as if I put my realtor hat on and I'm sitting down with we're talking with the seller, when does my radar and how quickly are there some certain questions or red flags that come up that perhaps, hey, this is a financial situation that we need to get a lawyer involved like right now? Is there kind of some questions or some probing questions I should be asking?
I mean, some questions you could ask, I guess, would be, what's on title? What do you have what debts do you have that you owe? Have you received any notices from any of your lenders? Are you up to date on your taxes? Um, if there's certain chattels, have you rented any of the fridges or not fridges, the air conditioner, the furnace? Do they have to be paid out? Are they going to be assumed by the buyer? Like things like that on what's owing would be the questions. Maybe they won't have answers, but I mean, if you do a purview or whatever you guys call it, geo warehouse or something, I use TerraView, but if you do a geo warehouse and you see multiple mortgages on there, that's the flag that I would see. And you just question the mortgages and question, are you up to date? Are you not up to date? How much do you owe? Things along those nature, or do you own any other property that you could potentially put some of that debt over? That's not always a viable option, but you never know. Maybe there is an option there where if there's a shortfall of, say, $100,000, you own another property where you can satisfy that lender by saying, let's register that 100 grand on another property, or 150 grand, or whatever it is, just to get that deal closed, and then you still have the debt owing on the other property.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's good insight. And as well as when I'd love to learn along at what point in the timeline, you receive the purchase and sale agreement and we see the title search or the requisition date, as you like to call it. Is that typically when you start to see, oh, hang on here, we might be walking into a wasp nest, if you will? Is that kind of when you start to see those things pop up?
So sometimes on sales, if the realtor has an idea, they notify us that, hey, there's going to be a little bit of an issue here, just so you know, heads up. If that comes down our pipe, then we'll do a search as soon as we get the agreement, and figure out, what's on there, what has to be paid off. If we're not notified, there really is no other way to know until the buyer has done the requisition. And some buyers wait to the day of, some wait till after the date on the agreement, which to me makes no sense. But it all kind of depends on how much info the realtor kind of has, and if they share that information with us, then we'll know how to act on it. But just a realtor or a client or whatever sending us an agreement saying, here, I'm selling this property, we really won't know until searches start coming in or are done.
Yeah. And kind of flipping the hat from seller to buyer, at that point, in a sense, I hate to say it, but are we kind of at mercy of the seller's situation at that moment, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Um, I've heard of situations where, and this was like a one-time situation where the buyer really wanted the property and they ended up paying an extra 20 grand or so in order to give the money to the seller to close. That was a very strange situation. I didn't do that deal, but I was told it, and I tried it on other deals to see if buyers were willing to increase prices, and obviously that doesn't go over so well. So I don't know how it happened on that one scenario that I heard of. But essentially, yeah, you are at mercy of the seller being able to have the money to close. And if they can't close, then essentially deal is dead and litigation lawyers start their clocks.
Yeah, yeah. These are interesting times, my friends, where we do need to ask these deeper questions, as Joseph has alluded to and kind of walked us through. Don't how do I want to say this? And I sometimes I use this line too, Joseph. If you feel like you need permission to ask these types of questions, you've got it. Don't worry about that. This is us doing our due diligence so we can prepare that client to succeed, right? That's the way I would say it. I don't know about you. Yeah. Yeah. These are the questions that perhaps that next realtor wouldn't ask. And that's why they're using you, my friends. And you need to ask these questions because the goal is to get that home purchased or sold. And we need to ask these deep questions, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I appreciate you jumping on with us and walking us through, because these are the conversations, Joseph. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Realtors don't get to always ask lawyers like such as yourself, and the fact that you're able to come on with us and kind of shed some light, and maybe more importantly, your own experience is incredibly insightful for us. And we do appreciate you jumping on and remind us how people can get a hold of you through your email and such.
You can reach me by email, joseph@mayfairlawgroup.com, or you can call me on my cell, 647-205-1274. I'm reachable either way.
There you have it, my friends. Reach out to them. As we always talk about, it's always important to get Nicole, our mortgage broker, in on the conversations from almost day one, as is important Joseph and his team. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today.
No problem. Have a great day, guys.
Good stuff.
Take care.
Colin.
Guys, this is why these meetings are important. We take the time to connect with the right professionals so that we can bring you this information. At the end of the day, we want each and every one of our agents, their listings to sell, and as if you're on the buy side, for that deal to close as well. It's also important for us to do our due diligence. You're the professional. And before, some of this wasn't required. However, the job is asking more of us now. And this is where we step up. And we're going to continue to step up, and we're going to succeed in it. Most agents aren't even discussing this. And this is where you're going to see a lot of them step out of the industry. We have that opportunity to step up. Gary, back to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to invite Nicole, or at least allow her to get ready. We got a couple of things we always want to remind people of. Of course, that's when Matt and Dylan come on once a month, and sometimes more, to talk about what's going on in the market through, you watch it here on YouTube, or they go on Facebook Live as well. This is insightful stuff, my friends, and it's important to stay connected with what's going on. I will also challenge you on this. As they spend hours researching, take this insight and then go do some of your own research as well. Because I can tell you, when I started doing that many, many, many years ago from my investment seminars, and I'm sure Nicole would agree to, when you're in it and you're having to do some research yourself, you retain all of this, what you think is useless information, but then you're sitting there with your client and you're able to walk them through what's going on in the market. And that's why it's so important to have people like Nicole come and share with us about what's going on in the market. And of course, Nicole, we are always happy to have you on screen with us. How are you doing, my friend? What is going on in your world? First of all, I got to say, now that you're on screen with us, thank you for sharing that story with your son and Red Day.
You're very welcome. I wasn't even honestly until we started talking about and I saw stuff up there, but it was really sweet. So I'll yeah, hopefully he's looking forward to it next year. He already asked me when the next one is. So I'm like, buddy. So in terms of our world, it's very, very, very busy on the renewal side. You guys have been hearing me talk about this for quite some time. We are almost at the tail end of it. Basically, May and June are by far the heaviest renewal months that we have ever seen. Why does this matter to you guys? If you guys have clients that are working directly with branches, they're slower. I've had multiple calls on conditions of financing, not getting through within the 5 days, even 7 days. So if you guys have clients that are working directly with banks, pack patience, talk to the banks up front, or pick up the phone, and if you can get a hold of the banks and speak to them, because it is causing issues. And so if you're working with a mortgage broker, myself or somebody else, and we have our dedicated teams, you're not going to see the impact there. But you guys do have clients that are working directly with the branches, and it's going to be June is even busier than May, so it's going to be crazy in terms of timelines. After that, Q3, Q4, it should settle down a little bit, so we should kind of get back to normal, but just be mindful of that. One of the things I love that we are all in sync with all of the topics that we wanted to talk about today, because literally I have my phone here so I wouldn't forget what to talk about. And one of the first two things, or first thing on my list, is exactly what we've been talking about. I am starting to see those conditions come in on APS to verify funds, make sure that there's going to be sufficient funds. Everything that you kind of mentioned, Darren and Gary, you guys were talking about, I'm seeing this kind of full throttle now on my side. We were talking about it, Darren and I, you spoke about it, we spoke about it a while ago too, but I'm starting to see this on a regular, I wouldn't say regular basis, but it's happening quite a bit. So I literally have big bold here to talk to you guys to exactly what you said, Colin. We need to do our due diligence. There is more on you guys now that really need to come into play, because these things are happening and it's a problem. So I won't kind of speak too much on that because we've already talked about that, but it is like literally top on my list for you guys, because we're seeing it quite a bit now. With the sales as well, another big part of that is have the realistic conversations. I'm not saying you guys aren't, but it's not happening across the board. So have the realistic conversations with your clients. If a client is, wanting to list for $900,000 and you're like, there's absolutely no way that's going to happen, have the conversation with them. Tell them and obviously, you can only do what you can do, but please be straight up with them. Tell them if it's 850 and that's the absolute max, because here's the comps, and we need to be realistic with clients. The reason why that's happening is because or why it's so important as well, is if we're looking at a sale and a buy transaction, I am doing you, or the mortgage broker is going to do you zero justice if I'm basing all these, projected sale prices on the 900 and giving you a purchasing power on 900. Like it's not helpful. So you guys know my personality. I am very transparent. So I am also saying, okay, hey, here's what I think, here's what I'm seeing on my system, but it's not helpful. So I'm coming across this quite a bit, where clients are wasting so much time and in things just because, realtors are nicer, I guess, and a little less, transparent, not even transparent. They're just like, okay, hey, if you want to list it for this, we'll try it. And it's not helping. We're seeing rates increase. All these things are happening. So that budget that you think you did have, because we based it on something that was unrealistic, and, rates have changed as well in the last few weeks, it's not doing anybody any justice. So please have those realistic conversations with your clients. In terms of the AML, you brought this up as well too. This is so the anti-money laundering, the reconciliation of funds, down payment, things like that on my side, it's always been important. It's always been a pain. Like you said, Darren, we don't love it. It's not fun. It is getting even more strict. They're cracking down on it as well. So Again, if your clients are working with a branch, they will not verify down payment upfront. They won't even ask them for it. If you're working with a mortgage broker that you're not familiar with, make sure down payment, even gifted funds, is getting cracked down on as well too, where we have to do full AML for the gifted funds as well, for the parents that are gifting or whatever the case is. It never used to be that bad. It is not fun. And so please make sure all of this is being done up front, because deals are literally falling apart because of this, to make sure that, you know, it's not going to be an issue for you. Last thing I will say, in terms of rates, not really any difference here. We've continued to see the fixed rate increases over the last few weeks. The spread between the two continues to be anywhere from 40 to 60 basis points between a variable rate and a fixed rate. So again, if you've had clients who are kind of been shopping around for a few months and you had a budget initially with the broker established, please go back, make sure nothing's expired, making sure the purchasing power is still the same. Because if something as simple as a client wants to switch from a variable rate to a fixed rate, for example, because you know they're nervous about what's going on in the economy and stuff, well, again, their budget is totally going to change. But I've had 2 calls just today alone with clients that are working outside of closing dates, outside of their expiry dates of their pre-approval, and their budget is totally different. So and also to when that pre-approval is given to you up front, make sure that from that mortgage broker or the bank, you are getting a detailed breakdown, because if client is uncertain in terms of what they'd like to go in terms of rate direction, they should know by now. But if they don't, the purchasing power will be very different for a fixed rate pre-approval versus a pre-approval. We're talking $40,000. So it makes a big difference for some clients. That's it for me, Gary. Any questions?
You covered a lot. That's amazing. But as you always do, I say that with love. That it's so important, my friends. We know, and we've been saying this ever since Nicole joined us in a number of years ago. It's so important to stay in tune with what's going on in the mortgage market. And it, again, just like as we were talking with Joseph, we need to ask these questions. We need to have these conversations so we are setting our clients up for success, excuse me. Again, appreciate you, Nicole. I'll share the screen again so people can take a snapshot of it if they don't always or already have your contact info. That's where it is, my friends. Reach out to her. She is a wealth of knowledge, as we always know. I appreciate that. Good stuff. My friends, as we move on here, I say this every month. Let's leverage the tools that are given to us. And one being Canva and through KW. And this is something that we now have at our fingertips. And you can log on using your @kw.com email address. And you have a whole gamut of new tools in there, and it connects directly to our MLS, so you can bring in your MLS listings, of course, and make some content that way, and leverage it. Leverage what's in there. There's templates that are already pre-built for us and the like. So start doing that. Jen.
Yes, sir.
We love this conversation. It sounds like you and I have this conversation more and more. Who you surround yourself with matters. Talk to us over the next few minutes why that's so important.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, this is probably more important than it's ever been. Environment can change your trajectory. Who you talk to on a daily basis, the conversations you have, the encouragement you receive or don't receive changes the outcome of your day. But more importantly, habits as well. And people that you surround yourself with who have good, strong habits, you learn from them. You can see the benefit of the habit by seeing how it impacts the results that they receive based on the habits they do and do not have. And we learn on both sides, good habits, bad habits, right? Some stuff we go, oof, not for me. Colin and I joke about this all the time. I will never wake up at 4:30 in the morning. That's just not a thing. He does it every single day. Habits are always going to be driven by your life and your needs, and that's true. However, when you are in an environment where people surrounding you have strong habits, and you can see what those are and you get ideas and you can learn and you can share. Steph and I talk regularly about habits as well and fasting and things like that. And Dylan's doing it and I'm doing it. It's a whole thing right now in the office for those of you that don't know. That changes your life. And it's a simple conversation that can completely shift the path that you're on. It often is a simple conversation. Most of us wait for this big epiphany of an understanding or a moment or a deal or an opportunity. That's not where change comes from. It's not where growth comes from. Growth comes from being in an environment that challenges you, that pushes you, that exposes you to new ideas, new concepts, new narratives, and sometimes just different perspectives. And that can change the way you look at something just enough to change the results that you start to receive. So I'm going to challenge everybody with this. Are you choosing every single day to have a conversation with somebody that will help you grow, personally or otherwise? Do you have people in your world where you can pick up the phone and go, hey, help me out with this. Help me understand it. Help me see it differently. Why am I struggling with this? How are you getting those results? Why am I not? We're doing the same thing. Why are you getting different results to me? Or if we don't want to talk about business, we can talk about personal too, right? You seem to be doing great in this area of your life. What's working for you? Get into classrooms. Get into spaces where when you leave, you have a new concept to think about. Doesn't mean you have to implement it. Doesn't mean you have to even agree with it, but at least you've made your brain look at something slightly differently that day. And the same is true with your clients, right? If you can have a conversation in a different way, because that's how your clients need to receive the information, and you have the ability to do that because you actively have conversations with people regularly in different ways, it will impact the results you get when you sit down and speak to somebody. You'll actually find yourself thinking about how you're showing up in their world. And that's when it gets really cool. Because when you start to consider, how do I show up every day? And how do I serve other people every day? And what impact do I have? It immediately starts to change your habits and your language and your mindset and your outlook on life. So think about that for a minute. Who you surround yourself with, it doesn't matter. It dictates the quality of your life. Simple. It's not easy. And we're not all dealt the same hand. Sometimes we have to work harder to get into the room. Sometimes we walk in the room with doors wide open. Depends on the situation, depends on the person, depends on your current environment. But you get to choose that. And if you don't know how to make that choice, talk to somebody who's living a life that you would like to live. Talk to someone who's hitting a goal that you want to hit, hitting a production level you want to be at, raising their kids in a way you admire, whatever that is for you. Go talk to them. If you don't do that, the one promise I can give you is nothing will change. Right? You will just continue to be where you are. And we're all dissatisfied, I'm sure, with certain elements of our life, different parts of it for different reasons at different times, right? Life is challenging. Life is fun and intriguing and annoying and all the different things we experience. But how do you choose to show up in your life every day? And also how you show up impacts the environment you create for others. So if it's not about you, make it about them. Because I can change someone else's life by building better habits for myself. And sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it, right? We inspire people from afar. But if you're not in the right rooms, if you're not a part of the right group of people, if you're surrounded by negativity, if you're surrounded by people that don't believe in education or mental health or physical fitness, I encourage you to surround yourself with a different group of people. Because we're halfway through this year. I don't know if anybody's figured that out yet, but we're almost halfway through this year, which is wild, by the way. I don't know how that happened. And ask yourself this question. Are you where you wanted to be at this point when we asked you in January what your business plans were or what your goals were for this year? And if you're not, who's the one person you can talk to right now that will help you reset to get back on that trajectory? Because we want what's best for everybody. We want all of you to live your own life. And that doesn't mean go all be top producers. That's not, we actually say the opposite of that. Build the life you want to live. It's a life by design. Decide what it looks like and then learn how to go build it. And if you don't know how to do it, get in a room with the people that do. Sounds simple. It's very uncomfortable, but uncomfort means we're growing. If you're sitting and you're feeling really happy with everything right now, you might be complacent, right? Which is more scary than being uncomfortable, in my opinion. So yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people matters. And also, we outgrow people. Sometimes someone helps us get to a certain place, and then we need a little bit more. Give yourself permission to be okay with that and to celebrate it. That just means you've grown. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that other person. They will still be a part of your life, but maybe you need somebody else to help you get to that next phase. Maybe you just need a different lens. Maybe you just need to get into training on Wednesdays and hear some ideas about how to get in conversation with more people so that you can write more deals and make more money and invest in a better life. It all ties back together. So step one, and what I'm challenging all of you to do today, is figure out who that one person is that you should reach out to, ask them to have a coffee with you, and pick their brain. I don't know anybody who said no to that request. People love to share. Most people love to help, and most people are extremely encouraging, especially very successful people, right? So I'll leave it at that for now. But thank you, Gare, for letting me get on my soapbox. Appreciate it.
Whoa, I love that. I love that. I am so grateful that you're in my circle. I honor you. I thank you. And we say proximity is power.
Of course you can, Hamid. Yes.
No, you stay here.
Sorry,
You know, sometimes very important things are more absorbable when you say it in a funny language. Yeah. Many, many years ago, I was lucky to know somebody who gave me a great advice, but in a very simple language. And he told me that habits are extremely contagious. And if you have 4 friends who are smokers, you are a smoker number 5. He told me if you have 4 friends who are gambling, you are gambler number 5.
Yeah.
He said if you have 4 friends who are addict to drugs, you are drugger number 5. And he told me always, surround yourself with quality people. If you have loser people around you, you will be loser also. Always we have to surround ourselves with successful people, top quality people, and the people who gives us, adds value to our lives. Yeah, and above all, somebody like Jennifer. Yeah.
Thank you, Hamid. I think it was Jim Rohn that says you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself. Yeah, the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And it might not necessarily be you're hanging out all the time, but check your phone logs. Who are you talking to most of the time? Check texts or your phone or WhatsApp or Facebook. Who are you talking to? Those people can influence your life. And like Jen said, they can change the trajectory of your life. So Jen, thank you. We honor you. I'm grateful that you're in my circle. Gary, back to you.
Yeah, we're supposed to transition to something else. And I got to echo everything. And I love what Hamid just said as well. Many of you have heard this story, and some of you haven't because you're new to our KW family here. And I've shared this story in the past, and I'll keep it really, really brief. It was about 10 years ago where we didn't know, my wife and I, Michelle, didn't know really we were actually doing this, but we broke up with our best friends. And I can tell you, as even I get a little emotional about it, my life, our lives, I should say, since then have 10x'd. And as Jen said, sometimes the people who got you to where you are, they're not the people that take you where you're going to go. And sometimes you need to surround yourself with different people. And it's important to, I think, allow yourself to be aware of that. And Jen, you nailed it. I love when you get on your soapbox. It's one of my favorite soapboxes to be around. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good stuff. I love it, my friends. I love it. All right. Moving on. As I said off the top of the meeting, we always love giving you, and I know Dylan's going to do this as well, something tangible that you can implement into your working business today, outside of, generating this and generating that. We've been talking about AI for such a long time now, and it's important to keep the conversation going because as our businesses evolve, so do the tools. And some of us, we were joking on our leadership call the other day, and I said, remember when we did our marketing and we kind of learned one of the old KW scripts? That's not a KW script, just one of the old presentation scripts when you're doing a listing presentation, Colin, and we say, some agents like doing the 3 Ps during a listing presentation.
Yep.
Yeah. And do you remember what those are? I got to put
Yes.
you on the spot. I got them memorized now.
Of course, you put it on MLS, you pray, and you put a sign on the lawn.
Yeah, the 3 Ps. And I'm going to add a fourth, or at least tie in a fourth. A lot of people now are just, when we say post it, they're just posting the hey, welcome to my new listing. And they're just posting it once or twice. And we know that that's not enough. We know that we had the tools through social media and everywhere else. We have an audience, whether it's 10 people, 100, 1,000, or multiple thousands. We have an audience and people that are listening to us and watching us and seeing how we handle our own business and seeing how we market. And let's leverage the tools like AI to help leverage the market. Who would love just to put into AI right now one prompt and get an amazing image just like this? This is Vincent Bungard's listing down in Richmond Hill, and I worked for about 3.5, 4 hours on Sundays so I could get this prompt to you. One prompt is going to create this image and many more text versions of it that you can go post and leverage. And that's what you're going to walk away with today. And I just want to walk you through this a little bit. You see, my friends, we are sitting on marketing goal. As we just said, most agents post it once and call it a day. We're going to give you one prompt here that's going to give you multiple things to post and I shouldn't say a full marketing plan, but a week or more for marketing. So you can post something different every day about that specific listing, and feel free to fine tune it a little bit. As every listing is a week of content. I put that there. Could be a month of content. Ideally, we wanted a week of content because we want to get that property sold as fast as we possibly can. But I think you get where I'm going. I like this bottom line, Colin. The agents who win listings are the ones who market them, not the ones that announce them.
Yeah.
There's a difference, right? When you say?
Yep. I love it.
How often, think back, even through your feed today. Yeah, that's an announcement. We're not talking about a birth announcement. We're not talking about, an engagement announcement or a gender reveal like it happens once. No, as realtors, we're there to remind people that we have a house for sale every day. And sometimes I think, and I don't know if it's on the next slide or so, we don't post because we can't think of something different to say about the home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is going to give you that insight and that content to help you do that. How would you love to get there's a lot on the screen. I get it. I know. And I'm not going to go through everything here, but this one prompt is going to give you, captions to say, social posts, email copy to send to your clients, even a video script. I love a good video, and it's important to keep posting video. It's going to give you some ad copy if you request it as well. And if we want, we can do property descriptions. And I think that's where a lot of realtors are. And even in Realm today, you can go into Realm where we load our listings, and you can put in your property description and even ask AI within Realm to help fine tune it and enhance it and so forth. And we can do all this in a sense with really one prompt. And it's really, really important to get this type of thing right. And that's what I spent for you. I spent the time and effort to go through this. Great content doesn't start with staring at a blank page. As I said, most people don't keep posting because they don't know what to say. We've heard this too, Colin, and I think you were the one that said this to me many years ago about using AI. Garbage in equals
garbage out.
garbage out. And I know early on, I think it was it 2022 when we first kind of got access to Chat GPT? It might have been.
And the 2021.
I remember you, myself, Dylan said, we got to start using this every day.
Yeah. Yep.
And do you remember, I don't know if you recall, I kind of laugh at the things we were asking it. Right?
Yep.
To how we're asking it today. And of course, it grows along with us as much as we like or don't like it. But it learns, if you have an account with one, whether that's Gemini or Claude or Chat GPT, it learns your style of speaking as well. And it's important to create that own personal persona of yourself and upload those documents. Well, we can kind of talk about that another time, but it's important that we use this. One prompt writes it all for you. That's what we're going to walk away with today. And this is important. This is what this one prompt will give you. Up to 3 different Instagram captions, as you can see on screen here, 2 Facebook posts, a just listed email. It does it all. The video script. And all we have to do is basically copy the listing URL, put it into when the prompt asks you for it, when you copy and paste and put the prompt into Gemini or ChatGPT, it'll ask you for the listing link. And what we're going to get into the weeds just a little bit, but not too much. It'll give it a moment and it'll spit out all this really cool information. Then it'll ask you if you want to create an image to go with it. And that's what I started with. And it's pretty good. It works in Gemini and Chat GPT. I tested it in both. And I used those as opposed to Claude for this one. If you're following along, both Gemini and Chat GPT in this case are far superior at the graphics. That's why I use it there. Claude is amazing at other stuff. We can talk about that another day, like light years ahead of these two and other stuff. But for graphics and ease of use, stick here. And Gemini, if you pay for a Gmail account, you've got access to Gemini already. And of course, you can jump into Chat GPT even on a free level. And I think their cheapest monthly subscription is about $12 a month, which isn't too bad. It'll be one of the best investments you'd use if you're thinking of doing that. Okay, what are you going to get? Well, here's the simple thing. I put in this long prompt, you get this image, and the cool thing is I didn't need to tell Colin, I didn't need to tell ChatGPT that this is a 9,000 square foot house. I didn't need to tell it is on over a half-acre lot. I didn't need to tell it was 10-foot ceilings or custom details or a 5-car garage. It went and pulled all that information from the listing. And it is yes, Nathan. Yeah, if you have a at kw.com email address, you have access to Gemini Pro. You also have access to Notebook LM, which is another blow my mind thing. We won't get into that. I'll get
that's another soapbox you want to jump on. No, stay here.
That's right. Stay focused, Gary. I didn't need to say it was custom built or Gridges, the address, all of that stuff. It just pulls all that information for you. I have very clear instructions on the prompt as well, not to go make things up about the listing. Mm-hmm. Darren will appreciate that, our broker of record, and Gail. Now, you might say, well, the only thing missing here is our logo or things like that. You can just download this, obviously, and throw it into Canva, quickly get our logo or your logo on it so it is all that RICO compliant and so forth. However, this is pretty powerful because I know people won't post stuff like this because they don't have access to it, Colin. And I want to make sure people have access to it. My friends, it's easy to use. Download the prompt here. Take an image of that. It'll take you to a Google Doc. Copy the entire Google Doc. There's instructions there. Put it into your favorite ChatGPT or Gemini. And the only thing that you need to do, and I hope I explained this well, is Realtor.ca and Realm do not use those sites for sharing the listing link. I'll tell you why. From their perspective, they don't let other websites. The phraseology is crawl them or go and extract information from them. But here's how you do it, my friends. The prompt will ask you for the listing link. Just go to kwrealtycenters.com, look up your listing by MLS number, and then copy that link, and then copy and paste that and put that right into where the prompt is asking for you. A few minutes later, it will give you all the copy for all the different social media posts. And then it'll ask you, do you want me to create an image? Say yes. And if it's to your liking, download. If it needs some fine tuning, tell it what it needs to fine tune. And it'll come out in a couple different color formats, one at a time. And then you just tell it, this is my branding, or copy this. You can upload a picture of your own branding, if you will, even your own logo, and it'll copy that and stick with that. Download this prompt, use it. You're going to get all that access. Don't just use it. Post it. Post the information. Again, people aren't posting enough on social media about their listings. Remember, we don't want to announce a listing. We want to market a listing. And that might be a great script for you to use in your listing presentations. You see a lot of realtors out there that go and announce their listings. I'm not here to announce your listing. I'm here to market and sell your listing.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, things that we can, if you ever have issues, if you ever have stumbling blocks with scripts, talk to Dylan, talk to Jen, talk to myself, talk to the coaches. We can certainly help you with that, right?
Absolutely. And it's interesting. And Gary, I know you spent hours creating this. And Gary and I, we chat every week of just tangible things that we can bring to the brokerage that it's just easy for them to implement, and how we can utilize AI with that. So this here is just one example. And every team meeting, we're going to look at just incorporating some of this or training throughout the months where it's just making your work easier. And something like this, you don't have to go spend 4 hours anymore, or you don't have to master AI. The prompts are already created. You scan, you drop it in, and you mark it. You don't have a listing, market one of the office listings. Call the agent. I'm sure if you were to call Megan and say, hey, can I market your listing? I doubt Megan is going to say no. She's going to say, the more the merrier, get it out there. So it helps all of us, and it helps promote you as an agent. Back to you, Gary.
No, you nailed it. And I'm glad you ended with that, because that was the first thing I did on Sunday. I messaged Vincent and said, this is a beautiful listing. Can I use it as an example? And that's all you need to do. I want to market your listing. The answer, 99.9999999% of the time, if it's not 100, is yes, please. Yes. And my friends, if you're the 0.00001 that says no, you better have a good reason why there's a no, right? We are here to work as a team in our KWRC family to get all of our listings sold. This is a great way to do it. And I can't think of a better segue into inviting Dylan to come on up and talk about consistency within our business. And it's really, really important that we take everything that, of course, Jen has set us up for, and how Dylan's going to talk to us about the consistency of what's going on in our business, my friends. Over to you, my man.
While we wait for Dylan, Larry has a comment, a question.
Just a comment. Thank you, Larry Hoover here. I think what we just saw from Gary, this kind of illustrates being transactional versus being strategic. Two very different ways to run your business.
That was quick and powerful.
Yeah,
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that.
That one post is very transactional. Having a plan is very strategic. I think that's a great point. So what I wanted to talk about today, because I took a lot of great notes from a fantastic email that I read this weekend. But really the question is, what can we do today to improve our business? What is it that top producers or people with successful businesses are doing all the time that perhaps we don't get to see because it's behind closed doors? And it's funny because Colin sent out a great email this weekend that was disguised as watering the grass, but was really all about consistency. And it's funny because I've spoken with 2 agents already this week that brought up your email just to me directly to say, hey, what a phenomenal email. And let's go through it in our coaching sessions. I was like, absolutely, let's. And so I don't want that to be a conversation that just gets held behind a couple closed doors. I want us to be talking about that out in the open. And when Jen talks about who you surround yourself with matters, that is a great example of that. Colin is being consistent with those Sunday emails. The agents that I find bring up Colin's email the most are typically top producers in our office. They are the ones that are paying attention to stuff like that. And so I wrote down a ton of notes. I'm like, these are the key takeaways that I want to make sure that we all understand, but also make a part of our habits, because we will see the impact in our business when the time comes. So first off, consistency beats intensity all the time. If you've been putting off your lead gen and then you do that one massive burst on a big day, but haven't done anything for 2 weeks, that one day feels pretty good. You're like, this is great. It is not going to replace those last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month of not doing that lead gen that you're supposed to be doing. So I want you to ask yourself this one question right now. So far this year, have you been operating with consistency, or have you been operating in bursts? And just sit with that for a second. And remember that consistency will beat those bursts every time. The next thing I pulled from Colin's email was success leaves clues. He's looking over that fence and seeing what his neighbor's doing all the time to make sure that lawn is beautiful and green. Top agents, they're not doing anything secret. What they are doing is they are following up consistently. They're staying visible even when they don't feel like it. They're practicing conversations and scripts so that they're ready for when the moment comes. And they're building relationships before they need the business. We talked last month, Gary, a lot about databases and your sphere. We can't just go to that well when we want to, when we need it, and expect it to feed us. It's not going to work that way. The next thing is most struggle from agents that we work with, Jen and I, it's not from inability or not from knowing what to do. It's from lack of consistency. It really comes with that inconsistency on just doing what you already know you're supposed to do. There is no magic formula. You just have to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it gets boring. The other thing that came from that email was we need to stop comparing. And it's funny when, a reference to Vincent, funny enough, when the pandemic happened and agents were posting all the time, especially once it really started to get busy. I remember being on a KWYP event, and he said, I've unsubscribed from like most of the agents on my feed, and I've just stopped looking at social media because in that moment, I wasn't busy, but it seemed like everybody else was busy, and it was just messing with my head. And so one of the things that I think people that are successful are doing, they're putting up the blinders and just doing what they know that matters. And we need to stop comparing ourselves to the best version of somebody that you see online, right? And the big takeaway actually that I wrote on from Colin's email there was, the grass is greener where it is tended. It's not that it's greener on the other side of that fence. On the other side of that fence, they're tending to the grass. You just have to tend to your grass. You'll be just fine. The other thing I've been re-listening to is Atomic Habits. And funny enough, it ties in perfectly with your email. And I love this book. This was when this book came out, it was one of the first books that I read all the way through in like under a week. I was hooked to it right away. And funny enough, I love it so much, I've spilled enough coffee on the back of this thing every time I go through it. But he talks a lot about this. And so as I'm talking about consistency, this isn't a new agent versus experienced agent problem. This is something that ties into all of us. And James Clear talks about that when they talk about the Goldilocks rule. Through both studies and common sense, we know that people stop doing the things they're supposed to do because of two reasons. One, they either don't know and it's too hard, so they give up, or they've been doing it so long, it's boring and uninteresting, and they stop. And one of the things that they talk about in this book, and that I've seen with other top producers, is you go through those waves of when it is just getting boring. And you want to talk about boring, the number one coaching thing that this comes up through Shift, through all the top producers that they interviewed, and things that Jen and I see all the time, the number one impact you can make in your business today that is so boring is just time blocking. In all of our one-on-one meetings, it is something that happens every time. And after you've been doing it for like a year, 5 years, 6 years straight, a lot of the time it's the same schedule. You're not really changing much, but it makes the biggest impact of just protecting that time, making sure that it's in there. and you talk about things being boring, that is what top producers are wrestling with. They are doing the same thing over and over again. They got to wrestle with the boredom side. If you're on the news side of it, maybe it's that it's a struggle. Maybe that's the challenge that you got to overcome. But we need to get into that sweet spot where it's just challenging enough that we get to keep going. So what do we do today? I want you guys to pick one area in your business that is non-negotiable, that you are going to start being consistent in from this day forward. And then we'll add things in as we go. But I want you to pick one thing. It could be in your follow-up, past client touches, your lead generation, your skill practice, your database conversations. Pick one aspect and commit. Non-negotiable, be consistent, put it in your calendar, and just do it. That consistency is going to make you way, way more productive, way more successful than any of these amazing tools that we're showing you. The AI stuff, all the stuff that we're doing, it's great. We are purposefully having meetings to come forward and be like, how can we help you guys do more? Having tools is great. If you are inconsistent and you are not showing up in your business, doesn't matter what tool you have. And when we talk about the visibility with top producing agents, it's not that they have some secret system that you don't know about. They're just doing the boring stuff over and over again. So the final thing that I want to leave you with is just a reminder that your business grows in the direction of what you consistently maintain. So if you've been consistently not doing your lead generation this year, that's likely where our business is headed. If we've been doing the boring stuff day in and day out, I promise you that your business, if it hasn't turned yet, it will. It's undeniable that if you keep putting in that same work over and over again, the results that you'll have. So that's what I want to leave you guys with today. Thank you so much for the time, Gary. And as always, if you need help with any of this, you've got an amazing team here that's ready to pick up the phone and have a conversation with you. So thank you very much, guys.
Dylan, before you run off there, talk to us very quickly. Not quickly.
Thank you. I did have another slide.
Yeah, and I love how these are coming out. I watched a few the other day that are kind of sitting in our Google Drive, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this.
Yes. So again, talking about the people that are around you that want you to succeed, Colin and myself are investing in this. I'm taking in the time to sit down with agents that want to be on video, that want to get out there. We talked about this at a lot of earlier team meetings. We talked about it at family reunion. Visibility matters now more than ever. We go back to what I just mentioned about top producers doing it even when they don't feel like doing it. We're putting on these agent spotlights. We'll sit down, it's just you and me. We have an easy conversation. And Colin is invested in editors that are cutting up the videos for us, getting it ready to post. We post it on your behalf, take away all the hard work. The only thing you got to do is show up and have a conversation with me. And I promise you, it's so easy to do. We did have a backlog. We were trying to get our editors set up now. I can let everybody know that's watching or that I've done a video with, everything's been edited. Now I'm in the backlog. I've got to meet with more agents to record these. So please reach out to me and take this opportunity to shoot some great social media content. Again, we do all the work. Colin's invested the money in getting it edited for us. Please put up your hand, text me, WhatsApp me, find me. We will do these videos. Yeah, you get out of here. They are fantastic. They are so authentic. And it's interesting, even on the back end, we only started really posting them consistently on Monday, and the metrics on the back end are already so strong. So please just take advantage of this. Reach out to me. We'll make it happen. Yes, Nicole, you can be a part of it. Yes. I see you nodding. Yeah. Yes.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, so the question was, when you say the metrics on the back end are really, really strong, what do you mean? I mean like view counts, engagement in terms of likes, in terms of shares. And it's funny because, Gary, we've talked about this a lot. Jen and I used to do a show where we did like a real estate morning show in our kitchen, and we weren't seeing those metrics. But for years, even after we stopped, people would see us at social events and say, hey, we love your morning show and we love hearing about what you guys talk about real estate. So the metrics, it's great that we're seeing that positive stuff so far. There are so many people in your world that follow you on social media that will see you every day and not engage with you in any meaningful way. I'm one of them. I see a lot of people's stuff that I love. I don't take the time to like because I'm so busy scrolling to the next one. So don't worry about the metrics. Keep doing it. It's like we talk about with consistency. If you show up in your business with the people in your sphere, you're having the conversations, the business will come. It doesn't matter if it's not coming right away. But to Colin's email, it's not, you can't do it in a burst. You can't just go mow the lawn that day and think that it's going to work out the same way the guy that's been aerating and fertilizing and then trimming and then watering. And like, you got to do all that stuff to get there. And so long-winded answer is, again, the consistency with it, but the metrics are like in terms of view counts, likes, at least on our office page, it's higher than some of the other stuff we've seen, which is fantastic. And what I will say, my vision of this is, because we tied into what Gary Vee was talking about at Family Reunion, you need to be everywhere. Download that video, create a YouTube channel, and put it on your shorts, put it on your Facebook business page, write a blog and have that video on there. Download the content that we've created for you and put it everywhere. We're collaborating. Here's the workflow is once it gets posted, it gets collaborated with you, like whatever agent and the office. So it's being shown in two places. Please download it, put it everywhere else. Put it on your TikTok, put it on your Facebook, like LinkedIn, 100% put it on LinkedIn. The more you guys share this stuff, the more your name will be out there, the more you'll show up and people are looking for you. The AIs, like especially Gemini, is scraping all of this information anyway. So if somebody Googles like, hey, should I work with Dylan Silbernagel? Gemini is going to pull all of my Google reviews. They're going to pull all of my Facebook posts. They're going to pull all of my YouTube videos. Like, it's already doing that. So we just want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to be out there. And you guys can start doing this more on your own. This is just a kickstart. Like, we know there's barriers to being like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't know how to record it. How do I do the audio? I don't want to edit it. Believe me, we had a hard time finding the right editors, like, and that's with throwing money behind it. So we totally get it. That's why we're investing the time and money to make sure you guys have this. There is no downside. Absolutely. And even if you feel silly, I promise you that's a you issue, because everybody that we've shown these videos to absolutely loves them. And again, if you're feeling vulnerable, that's great, because your vulnerability is so authentic, and that's who people want to work with anyway, right? If you've watched those super polished corporate videos where the person looks perfect, yeah, they look perfect, but I don't identify with that person at all. It's like, it's just a whitewash of like, there's nothing there to it. Your authenticity with an and an ah or a like, or a moment where you can tell that something's really important to you, people are going to resonate with that. And it's going to stand out a lot more than something that's overly polished. So yeah, no downside. Absolutely. Thanks, Gary.
That was excellent.
Almost missed that slide.
I love it. We just keep stepping it up, and I love when you come up and share, Dylan. That's fantastic. Jen, we've got a pretty cool month ahead of us, and I don't have everything on here, but kind of highlighted some of the things coming through next month. Kind of walk us through this, and then we'll be all on our way, my friends.
Yeah, so first thing coming up next week, obviously Matt and Dylan do the market update every month. It's live on Facebook. You don't have to come in to get the info, but get the info. Guys, they spend hours going through the slides and the information, breaking it down into different areas, Simcoe, York Region, GTA, all across Treb. There is value in that. Take the time to engage and get that. You can always watch the recording back as well. Breakthrough 120, this is a bit of a bigger one. I'll try to cover it really quick. This is the new program that's been launched by Keller Williams International. It's essentially a step up from what Ignite was, for those of you who took Ignite, but not as intense as Bold. And the idea behind Breakthrough 120 is that you do 9 transactions in 120 days. So it's 4 days of training in a row online. We're doing it on Zoom for our session because KW Living is also partnering with us. But you're going to learn basically each day covers a set topic, and those topics are strictly production-driven topics. And then from there, you spend for the next 100 and however many days, because I'm terrible at math, 115 days, every week there's a huddle that you have to be accountable to your business and to the leader of your huddle. So you have to report out your numbers. You have to do the work every week. You're making commitments to your business for 120 days. We know that what is being taught in this course, if you do it, as Dylan said, with consistency, those deals will show up. It's proven. It's how we all built our businesses: open houses, lead generation, database. There is a social media component. There's a full day of training on how to get business from social media as well. And then I think the other one is appointments and how to convert and close on appointments. So you will learn the tangible skills to go and be successful. This is not a new agent course. This is an absolutely everybody course. There's not one person in this room or outside of this room in real estate who doesn't want to write 9 deals in the next 120 days. So that's going to be coming up. We're doing that starting on I think it's June
June
8th,
8th.
and running through the 12th is the online version, and then you'll have the huddle for the next 115 days after that. We have our KWRC meeting on June 24th. That's our final team meeting prior to our summer break. We won't have any meetings in July or August because everybody's at the cottage and doing their thing. We'll be immediately following the team meeting with our agent appreciation barbecue. We're going to host it here at the brokerage. We're going to cook some food. We're going to play some games and hang out and just have a bit of social time before we go off with our families for the summer months. And there's a few other trainings that'll be popping up as well. We have our moving vendor partnership team. They're going to be doing a training in June. We're just locking down a date, as well as our marketing and videographer. He's going to be doing some training with you guys on how to properly stage, market, take pictures of your listings and utilize those tools. So he's going to come in and teach that as well. So once we finalize those dates, we'll get that out to you as well. But the emails for Breakthrough 120 should be going out later today. Please register. It doesn't matter where you're at in your business. Please register. It's great content. It's all new content. It's all updated. Jason Abrams spent the last year rewriting all of it and really narrowing it down. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to kick it off, and I'm excited for everybody to be a part of it. So that's it, Gare. That's what's coming up in June.
That sounds amazing. And the one thing that's not on here, Dylan and I are going to nail down the date. And it's funny because a couple of people, including Hamid and some others, reached out and said, can we do an AI learning afternoon or something? And yes, the answer is yes. We're doing an AI workshop where Dylan and I will just kind of riff on the different tools and how we're doing it and help you walk through maybe some of the things that you're walking through. Let me end with this, my friends, and just kind of sum up what Jen was talking about with the Breakthrough 120. Success lives where you're uncomfortable. And that's where we want to help and guide and walk along with you. So if you're having a moment where you don't think you can get there, talk to Jen, talk to Dylan, reach out to myself, Colin, anyone else, the ALC, and so on. We want to walk there with you. And sometimes it's scary. We get that. But if you remember a few months ago, I shared a little story about Tavish, my son. He was scared to get on the ice. And I asked him, why? Just go skating, my man. Because, Dad, I'm scared. And you might recall me saying, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be scared. You just got to go do it, my friends. This was an incredible team meeting. Thank you for spending your lunch hour-ish with us, and we'll see everybody on the next team meeting and, of course, throughout all the training sessions next month. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
I'm not having to bring a coat today.
Yeah. Or big monkey boots.